Hey, good morning. I didn't just wake up. I've been here for minutes. Anyway, no, it's Saturday morning. I'm gonna be working on the Silver Mirage a little bit more, and figured I would just stream it. Um, so I'm really working on the sidecar. I've been debating whether or not I want to put the foot pegs down on the Silver Mirage now or after I scale it up and maybe do a test print, which seems like a waste. So I'll put the foot peg on where it existed on the other thing, on the original toy. But at the end of the day, the articulation and the scaling and everything is so different between the original GI Joe figures and the classified scale stuff. I think it's unlikely the feet are gonna kind of want to land in the same place. Uh, but I'm kind of reassembling it a little bit so I can check something out. I'm curious if the feet actually fell on the foot pegs in the first place with the original. The thing was such a like I've got a lot more respect for it now, kind of seeing how much stuff they crammed into such a small vehicle. But yeah, actually the foot pegs that's actually really good for a Joe thing. Um, they crammed so much design into this little thing that I think it was just a little too overambitious for the technology they had at the time for the materials and the scale and everything. It's pretty awesome. So yeah, I'm gonna put that peg right there, I guess. So the weird thing about this, the way it's designed, the foot peg on the right where your rear brake would be, kind of sticks out right here. But then the foot peg on the left, where like your gear shift would be, actually sticks out from the exhaust pipe. Um, I'm I'll design a something so it doesn't stick out exactly from the pipe. Maybe something that kind of coils or wraps around it. But it's kind of weird. Kind of weird. Don't want to do. Jacked up this angle. It's fine. It's not a big deal. And it's gonna have to. It sticks out pretty far. Where's the? There we go. Just gonna kind of measure it. To give a pretty good idea how much it should stick out. Yeah, actually, kind of I nailed it. But it is mine is kind of stuck in there, and I measured from here, so I'm gonna give it a minus 13.75. Make it a new body. Okay. Uh, foot peg, foot peg, foot peg. So I think we'll go from this side. I'm gonna do some drafting. I just want to give this some interesting, uh, just a little detail and some shape because I don't want it to be too boring. So this is pretty thin, but I think when it scales up, it'll be robust enough, if you will. It'll be fine. The original is definitely just a little bit lacking in detail. And foot pegs usually have something you can kind of grip onto. So I'm going to do an offset face just to lower this. I'm going to do an extrude to make that a new body, so I can just give it some detail. Dang it. Sometimes this thing's the devil. So I want to put like kind of like a grip on here. And so to do that, I'm going to create a pipe. No, that's not the number one. Let's do 2. 1.5. I just got to type it faster. All right. Dang it. I don't know what happened there. There we go. Okay. Finish sketch. So I used the that surface is the plane for the drawing, so that line kind of goes through the through that face, and we're just gonna create a pipe. Just like that. Let's see if it lets me get away with this. Yeah. would be that foot peg. Yeah. And I'm going to mirror it for now, but I'm coming back to this one later. I really want to just kind of knock the sidecar out right now. I don't know if I'm even going to have enough time to do that. Oh, crap. I sort of assumed, nope, mirror, this guy. Okay, it stayed new body. I wasn't paying attention. A lot of times this is the default to join, and you almost never want to do that. It creates trouble. Hey, good morning. Thanks for checking it out. Just it's kind of two birds with one stone. I'm working anyway. Might as well stream. All right, handlebars I'm gonna do later. So let's put that. Actually, let's move these into the bike folder. Get this back out. All right, so I started this yesterday. I only kind of fooled around with it for a few minutes. It's a fairly simple design. I need to just make some decisions about how I'm gonna handle some things. Specifically, so on the original was, just this base part. It's two pieces. I don't recall if they came. I kind of don't want to force it in half and end up like breaking it if it's glued. I don't know. But there's the bucket, and then there's like a rubbery seat that goes in there, and that seems to have been molded in the same material as the tires, which is pretty cool. There's like nothing holding it in, just nothing. It's just like a pinch oversized, so it stays in place. I guess there's just not much holding. There's not much holding the little seat in there. It's kind of weird. So I'm gonna have to sculpt that. I think I'll come back to the seat. Yeah, I guess let's see. Let's do the attaching bits. No, I'm not doing that. That's last. So I wanna do as much as I can with the bucket kind of at the 0, 0, kind of right at the origin. It just makes it easier for any kind of like symmetrical stuff that I'm going to want to mirror from one side to the other. I kind of need this thing sitting right on the origin to do that. So yeah, I guess I'm going to start doing some detail stuff. I just need some time in my head to figure out how I want to do the seat. I mean, I could print it as one piece. And I don't have any reason or interest in like making a mold and casting the seat out of a softer material. I think that's a bit of overkill. That's too much. Like the tires is one thing, but and I had discussed doing the bike seat that way, making a mold and casting that, because I think having the seat kind of soft will help the figures stay on. So where like humans, we have nice soft thighs, the hard plastic on the figures, doesn't allow for any give. So I think having a rubbery seat will help, but not in this case. This isn't something that's got to get squeezed between the figure's legs. They just sit back on it. So doing it as this whole sidecar, bucket, and seat is one piece. When I print it, The only kind of drawback with that is if somebody wanted to print this thing, mostly silver, and then like do the black pieces in black, the green pieces in green, having a separate seat would allow someone to print it in a different color so they don't have to paint. So I think that's what we'll do, just to make it easier for folks that want to print it. Yeah. Okay. It just means it has to be precise. No big deal. So being rubbery. So the bucket is designed. I've given it a bit of a draft inward, so it's not. You can see this isn't a 90-degree angle here. It comes in a bit. So if I do a seat, it's got to be able to squeeze in. The cushion of the seat sticks up a little bit in the back here. And it angles a bit forward. And then it just kind of rides the bottom, which I haven't even properly done. So let's see the bottom. That's a good place. Bring our canvas back. I'm going to put the tire away. So you can see the bottom kind of juts down. It's a weird little shape, but let's get it in there. It almost looks like an afterthought, like they when they were originally designing it. They had the shape I've got now, and then we're like, uh-oh, it's not big enough. And then came back and made an adjustment. That's what I think happened. So because I've already made a shell out of the inside, this piece that I'm adding, let me get rid of these canvases. I don't want them to push up through this. So we'll see. And you really, yeah, can't really see it from there. But, yep, it doesn't cut through in there. It's just out there, and I'm going to round that so much it's not going to matter. So make that a new body. Okay. And this, like, no kidding, is very round. So we'll see if we can do this without a cool. Okay. And this sticks out too far. I'm going to push this in. There we go. Not bad. Now we'll need to find a way to cut that. Well, actually, nah, I don't know. I don't know if I really need that. I don't know if I need that extra space in here. We'll do it. At the end of the day, it's material that we don't need to print. So I'm going to combine. And then this thing is just rounded as all get out. Especially here. Okay, it's one piece. I guess I'll bring that in a little more. Doesn't like that. Worked a minute ago. So let's back this up a little. Push this whole thing in. Okay, let's see how this goes. This should be better. They're not merged yet, so here we go. Yeah, that's more what I'm talking about. I should have done that. You know, let's around this bit right here and get back into it. This thing, man. Sometimes the math isn't great. Where does it get out of my chat? Punk. So that's kind of right what I've got there. I'm just gonna go around. Well, it's not right. All right. So what I need is to kind of cut that out. So we'll do it from the side. So what I'm doing is creating a shape down the middle that I can. I know it's down the middle. It's symmetrical. This is part of what I was saying about having the origin is where I'm working on this versus off to the side because it's a sidecar. New body. Symmetric. Okay. Just to make this easier for you guys, we're gonna turn the opacity down on the sidecar. All right, so you can see this piece is basically, I'm going to subtract that piece. It's just a Boolean operation. When I merge, I'll subtract that piece from the sidecar and give us that little extra room in there. So let's bring the sidecar back up to 100. Let me just combine, do cut. There's that. Little look that'll go all the way around. All right. So what makes sense to do is make the seat on the sidecar on the toy, because this was two halves that come together, and I'm assuming was meant to not require glue. There's a lot of like male female pieces that stick out and kind of come together, and I don't have any of that obstructing any of my stuff. So I think what I do is I'll create like just a one up and down one, so the seat kind of just, you cram it in there and it plugs in, and that's that. So we'll do the seat next. We'll do this little. Working big is better as well. If you make little delicate pieces, it's going to be a little bit harder because we're printing, because potentially we're talking about people doing this in FDM and people doing this in resin and whatever else they decide to do. So kind of the more material you give them to play with, the better. And I don't mean like I cut the, you don't need to have extra material for the sake of extra material, but if you've got pieces that plug together, the bigger they are, the more durable those are going to be. Yeah. I'm just going to create a piece to get rid of that. Because it's round, you can't really do a bevel or a draft to hide this. You got to kind of just delete it. And again, I need to do it as a new body, because if I cut or join right now, it's going to do everything, not just the one piece, unless I were to come turn that off. Then now I can just do it as a cut. So it's always more than one way to do everything. So this has got to be lower. I want it just about there, I think. And I can probably shave the top. I want these, I don't want it to be at that angle, because then you got to put the seat in at an angle. I want it to come kind of like straight down in. So I definitely want it like 90 degrees up and down, not at this angle. But the question is this sitting up too high? Definitely, I want to give the figures plenty of room inside here, because some of them are bigger than others. Probably be good to have some kind of peg as well, so that it's not just a circle. So it only goes in one way and doesn't end up askew. But I'm gonna trim at least part of that off. And here's why I shouldn't have done that. Okay. Here's why I shouldn't have done that. Why is that sketch? Oh, okay. I can come back to that sketch and still use it. But I want to circle down through the center of this circle and parallel. So I needed to leave this face on here till after I did that operation. So snap 2. So it's interesting. So it did the cut through my circle and it made the donut I wanted. It took a little chunk out of the bottom of the sidecar, which is fine. But because they're not merged, you still see all this other stuff going on. So like, see how these lines disappear when I merge it? I feel like it used to just merge when you did a cut like that, but not now. Okay, and then so what I was talking about is what we'll do is, where's there more material in the front? On the front here, I'm gonna also cut out a little square. Sure. It's gonna drive me nuts. I want to tool the opacity real. Dang it. Bring the opacity down again. And you can't see it because the thing I need is make opaque. What's that thing? I can do that. There we go. Cool. So our seat's going to just plug into that. It's not meant to snap in. It is absolutely going to be meant to be glued in. St. Thomas. Oh. Thank you, Joe's Customs. All right, so go ahead and make that cut right there now. Well, that didn't work. Yeah, I'm just cutting it too high. Didn't account for that. Anyway, so easy enough. Let's move this. back. Bring the opacity up. We're going to merge them. Now I should be able to just bring that down just a pinch more. So we've still got our tabby. Okay. Let's see if we can do a trick here. Okay, made a new body out of the tab. Do an extrude here. Make that a new body also. So now we're going to take these two pieces and move them. So I'm going to do a bit of a weird cut. The edges, well, not edges really, the top and the bottom of this thing, because I did them as separate pieces and I didn't go out of my way to line them up, they are not even. And even if this one's close, just by virtue of me seeing this line, I know they're, yeah. So to make it easier for me, I'm going to merge these two. And then just give it a cut. So now you can see that like this is one face. Yeah, that's one face. So that's going to just make it easier to deal with. So this is the kind of the male end that's going to go into that down there. And so it's got to be, just because 3D printing is what it is. If this is the male end, it's going to end up thicker when it prints, and this like female end is going to end up smaller or tighter when it prints. So between those two things, like it just won't work when if I were to leave these exactly the same size when they print, because it's going to, you know, the one end's going to get thicker and this is going to get smaller. It's just going to not work. So we have to just preemptively accommodate for that by shrinking this down. And hopefully that's enough. And it kind of comes down to the individual printer. Like how dialed in do you have your machine, you know? So we're in orthographic mode. So should be able to just look down through the top and see this gap that I've created around it. And you'd be surprised, like no kidding, how much that gap is going to fill in. Like this may require sanding. This may require, it might be fine. The amount of play that I've given it here might work fine, but it might not. So this is kind of just going to be on standby. It'll get added to the seat after I sculpt it, and that's how the seat's going to stay secure inside the sidecar. I'm trying to get a feel for how big the actual cushion part of the seat is, because it's not like an actual human has to sit in there and be comfortable. I'm more worried about legs and feet. Should be all right. Right. I can see on the side. Somebody asked a question about Thunder Machine. How's Thunder Machine coming? Thunder Machine's coming along well. I'm kind of over engineering the shit out of it. And because it's so big and there's kind of so many parts at this point, it's just taking weeks. I'm probably 2 weeks from a finished test print, and then based on that, I'll make a bunch of changes to make it more printer friendly, more user friendly. So it'll be this month, but it's not. The whole thing is just not fast. Like I don't have the circuit boards yet that are going to control all the lights. Those are still being made. Those are going to be made down in Florida. Um, it's coming along. I'm really happy with some of the parts. Like I'm really happy with some of the parts, and I'm really excited to get it done. But I'm really going kind of over the top. It's one of those things where I want it to be perfect so bad. Like that's the reason I put it off as long as I did, because I really wanted to be at a place where I could make it perfect. And I'm there, but it's just a real process. This thing is like 1/50th the difficulty level of the Thunder Machine because of what I'm trying to do with it. So I will absolutely do the AUG. I think that's a cool gun. I've done 2 MP5s for Action Force now, and they already had one. So that's yeah. There's gonna be plenty of MP5s out there. I don't really think there's gonna be a gap that needs to be filled in that department. But yeah, like no, the AUG is on my short list. There's a bunch of bullpups on my short list. All right, so we've got, this is just like cushion, cushion, cushion. And then up the top. So just trying to guesstimate where I want them to fall. What are you thinking about? There we go. I suppose I could measure them. I don't know the reason I have this thing in front of me. So sketches are a little, I'll say wonky in this program. They're just not the easiest thing to work with. That when I make a solid like this, I did this extrude of that sketch. This is just an easier thing to manipulate and work with in this program. So sometimes it's just best to go for it. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I guess the seat must do that. What an odd thing. So I just put the seat, there we go. So the seat goes in, and there's really, if you look, like there's nothing for it to clip onto or hold onto. It's just sort of like a little too big for the thing, and so it stays in place. The sidecar it's got it's quite an angle in the back end here. It doesn't sit like this, it sits like that. And so when you put a figure in, the tendency is for them to kind of slide forward, but then the gun will be here, and that'll kind of prevent it. It's just yeah. Yeah, I guess them holding onto the gun will prevent them from kind of sliding around. But there's a hole. There's like an inch between the tops of their feet and the front of this thing, and then there's just this stuff that makes the thing come together. So I mean, yeah, the seat's there for looks, so I don't need to get too seat crazy. So I'm going to do the bottom. Again, I prefer working with things when they're at right angles. If I were to rotate this into place now, and then what I'll end up doing is some bevels and some copying and moving and merging and rounding. It's just much harder to work with when it's at an angle like that. So I'm gonna not do the angle for now. Let's come back to 0. Okay. But I will work with it a little closer to where it's going to be. So let's turn them. And we're going to chamfer. Okay. I was going to, yeah, I'll just do copying. Sometimes I'll like if I have a couple of things in a row, I'll make a pattern. But there's only 2 and they actually need to touch. Or the 3. Yeah, there are 3. So I'm making 2. Now what I may do is but like the motorcycle seat and this one, they have got like a leather texture. It's really fine, but it's there. And I might put those pieces, like those specific STL files, into like Mudbox or something and see if I can apply like a leather texture to it. I think that'd be a nice touch. This looks like a Hershey bar. God, I'm fat. And then when it's over, I'll do the, I'm going to round all that out and make it look more cushiony. Thank you. Thank you about the foul. Like that gun had to get made. Somebody had to make it. All right, let's bring this back. So the side cushions kind of are at an angle and up. And they I can see that's one of the things where this is kind of getting some resistance is the top of those side cushions kind of work their way into this bit of a bevel that's inside there, which I'm not worried about. And it's one big cushion. Did I merge that? I did merge that already. That's all right. So we'll start with a rectangle. Really. Just make it forward. So just like before, we'll make a solid. And then kind of work with it from there. So I don't know how much I don't think this angle matters for shit, but we're gonna do it anyway. there's actually another piece that's going to basically do the same side thing going up, and they meet. Oop, that was not right. And we're very lucky with 3D design in that like we've got a lot of play. These things, like I can make these overlap and merge them together and make it, you know, there's no hard stopping any of this stuff. Kind of hard to see what's happening, but I think those have to be slightly greater angle, or should be, excuse me. So I'm gonna do the back of the seat and the one side, and then just mirror it to the other side. But I think I need to do that other bit before I commit to the other thing. These are twice the size of the back cushions are bigger than the bottom cushions. 10 something. Okay. How many of these do we got? 1, 2, 3, and then like a half C and a headrest. Can I do? Let me see what it does when I. Oops. I'll try and just offset the face up here and see if that causes an issue or not. Basically, I'm going to shrink it down, but I don't want the angles to change. And I think we're good. If I offset face, it shouldn't change. Yeah, we're good. Okay, and then I'll just do the headrest last. Let me merge these together. And it's a pretty extreme angle, but I think I'll leave that to the sidecar to dictate. I want to put it near where it should be. And when those round out, that'll look better, and I'll fill this gap in here. But I want to get everything positioned as it should be first. So let's bring our sidecar back. You know what? That's not too bad. The whole thing could probably slide. Well, the angle on this one is pretty extreme. Yeah. And let me see. I think I'm pretty close to where I need to be for the headrest. Yeah, not bad. So we are going to move this thing though. Okay. I'm going to bring the sides in on all this stuff. I think I made them too wide. Yeah. Okay. Grab this guy. Thanks, buddy. That's just such an extreme angle. I don't care for it. We're going to keep that up. I think it comes down to about there. So this needs a little more something. It needs to be a little longer. Does it? Doesn't. I can just account for it with the headrest. I think that's the moves. Let the headrest kind of be the thing that pops it off. So maybe since this is plugging straight down, I'll put something behind this too, just as a little more support. I think that's kind of that. We can move this guy now too. Just kind of get it out of the way. Cool. Do that other side piece. Kind of just following what the cushion does. Yeah, the cushion goes like this. It really follows that edge, which is cool. Because that informs the angle of that seat, and I can bring the seat back this way a little. I don't like that angle anyway. It's up. I guess I got to slide the whole thing back is how that's going to work. Sure. Don't like these angles. Oh well. What can you do? So that should be the edge. So we've got plenty of room. Okay. Since the body's a little hard to see, we'll bring that back up. Cool. Plenty of room. We'll bring that out a bit. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm scrapping that and starting over. That's terrible. What happened here? What did we do? Let's get this sucker back in place before we go too far. Weird. Okay, so that's not actually that bad. Let me see if I can move that up. Okay. Screw that. Hmm. Okay. And so, like I was saying before, the trick with this is going to be kind of making everything rounded so it looks more like a cushion. This would be, because this is less of a hard surface. Oh, shit. I hate that. Because it's less of a hard surface, it's more organic-y because it's a cushion. It'd probably be easier to do this type of thing in a ZBrush. Maybe, god damn it, with the damn. You got to be careful when you're clicking sometimes. All right. But then I can take the solid I make into Mudbox and give it some folds, give it some texture, give it some life so it doesn't look so hard. Because that's what we're trying to avoid with the cushions. We want it to look like a cushion. So a little tricky to do, but Mudbox is kind of the place to do it. Down here, we'll see if this may not be necessary at all, but let's see if I think that's probably a little bit better. So we'll do that. That's nice. And that headrest will be there, so that'll take care of that other corner. I'm not worried about that stuff. We do need to round all this though. To make this a little easier, I don't do this too often, but I'm having trouble differentiating some things. So we're going to go over here. Silver Mirage is silver. Seat is black leather. Okay, so now I just need a headrest. Okay. That's 11. Okay. I'm gonna try and do the chamfer. I don't know if it'll work. Huh. Nice. Cool. I'll call that good enough. Do these other round bits first. Oh, I see. So I messed up how I grabbed these corners. I assumed that some things were gonna flow along some lines that they didn't. We're okay. So that needs to kind of come back quite a bit. Do our opacity trick. Yeah, it's not grabbing anymore. Sometimes you can get away with making some changes over here in the browser without losing your selection. But it is not something you can count on. That might be a little too tight right there. Which might actually, it might be a good thing, but we're gonna give that a little bit of play. Cool. God damn it. Okay, didn't do it that time. Hopefully we can get away with this. Cool. All right. So this is gonna come straight down, which means I could have like a support line back here down the middle. That also comes straight down. That's not good. Let's bring that back. Not the wheel, this guy. Okay. So I gotta bring those sides in a little. I'm gonna bring those sides in a lot. Too much. I'm not gonna do it that way. All right, so I'm going to create a duplicate of the sidecar. We're gonna move it 50 millimeters. Okay. I'll merge all that crap together. Okay. Now I'm going to delete the sidecar from the seat. And I'm going to move this back. So that's 50 millimeters. Okay. So now it definitely fits. So what was I talking about? Let's move the seat. So what I was thinking is just to give like a little peg or stub from the car to fit into a groove on the back of the seat. So again, using the origin. Doesn't need to be much. We can go 2 mil, do 4 millimeters. Okay, new body. Okay. So as long as that doesn't push through the cushions, we can go ahead and we can merge that. There's the seat. So we'll make the seat transparent. And yeah, it doesn't stick out enough, so we're gonna have to make this transparent. Now everything is transparent. Okay, so we're gonna move that out a couple mil. So the seat go away, grab that face, put the seat back, grab that, offset face, bring it out. Okay. Make the seat go away. Draft. Okay. I think we're gonna do the same trick again where I delete the sidecar. from the seat. Copy. 250. Combine. Okay, so now I've got this groove in the back of the seat, and I'll have this plug down here. And between those two things, the seat should be able to, you'll place it in there and it should sit nice, you know, a little bit of glue along that edge, maybe some right in here, and the seat's going to be in there nice and solid and secure. No issues. And it definitely fits inside. I'm gonna move these faces just a pinch. Just to give it like that little bit of play we talked about. Just a pinch. If it lets me. Yeah, it didn't let me. All right. So I can do them one at a time. Let's move the sidecar back first though. Actually, let's make this groove a pinch bigger before I forget. Okay, so hopefully that's enough. It's always kind of a guessing game how much you need to do that. And again, it depends on the printer you've got. Round all this stuff out. Let's do 0.4. Okay. And do these the same way. Oh, not doing that. Just moving it back. So what I've done this. It's been like an hour and a half. All I've done is a seat. Good morning, Brian. Happy New Year. Thanks. All right. What's next? Did I add that yet? No, let's combine that guy. And now we're just gonna make a couple little structural changes. And rounding this stuff, like I would have to do this if this was stuff that was going to be molded. Like no question, this has to happen. But it's in my opinion a little easier on the printer if it doesn't have to do right angles, like sharp right angles. Make sure I don't mess up the front. That angle definitely needs to get tweaked. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I forgot to do this. So offset these just a little tiny bit. guy. This guy. Yeah, that's erroring out pretty quick. Let's move on. Let's move along. A couple of details. I think detail stuff should be last. I think we put the gun on next. I don't know. I thought this was a cool gun when I was a kid. The not really a hexagon exactly. Kinda. That's not bad. Okay. Oh, kind of. This little divot right here is because of how it's molded. Okay. But I'm not molding, I'm 3D printing, so I'm not going to cut a big hole out of the bottom of it. No need. That seems a little wide. Oh, I've got it. Let's measure it. We are at 8.84, 8.9. Yeah, we're gonna do 4.4. And what this doesn't do is a great job of illustrating. Yeah, it's flat across the top. So let's see. I don't think 45 angles are gonna work. Because it's not flat across the top. How are we gonna do this? These corners definitely meet, and that does that. Well, I guess I split it. Well, that's just because of the. So I'm kind of thinking out loud. So when a two-part mold comes together, where this is, you can see this is the top of this is parallel to the bottom of this. It's a flat 90-degree thing. The molds can't do that. The molds get split, and then there's got to be like a bevel right here. So it's basically like what I would do is split it and do like a 1-degree draft there, 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 and there. And it's just part of the mold process. So the mold will easily release the plastic after it's cast. And I think that's what I'm looking at here because it's such a subtle little angle. So I'm going to keep it like this. Should be wider though. Seems like the angles are. Maybe it's the illusion because it's got that snip off the front right there. That might be what I'm looking at. So back here, I'm just going to do a split body. I could split faces too. This one kind of doesn't matter. How's my time? All right. I do have a hard stop coming up. Oh, this isn't like that, but I kind of like it. I can take that and that. I'll do. Put them back together. I don't mind that seat, man. Every once in a while. Okay. We got these details on the top of the gun. That was an odd. So we're going to put these on. There are 3 kind of nubs forward of this piece. They're not big. Symmetric. Okay. It's an odd little thing. Okay. I don't know what that detail is supposed to be exactly, but we've got it. Similar thing behind it. So I'm just making a sketch to use as a tool so I can split some faces up. You know what? I'm gonna undo that. We're gonna split body. I'll kind of do these one at a time. This guy. Okay. Oh, that's where I went. I thought that was weird. They were spaced too far apart. Let me where did I do the pattern? Here we go. Delete that. Did I merge it already? No, good. So this guy comes forward. Go there. Cool. That's way more better. And that's interesting. This where this comes up and into this is on the toy. So that's cool. Can leave that in place like that. I wish there was a way maybe there is, and I just don't know what it is, but like I need to be able to control where this grabby arrow is. It is annoying as shit. Probably could have done this. Let's go back. Do all those together. See, that's better. Let's see what I'm doing. Where's the seat? I can turn the seat off. I can turn that off. Right, so this guy is going to come out smaller. Everything behind it kind of follows suit, so we'll grab it all together. What I hit? Oh man! Every once in a while, I just grab the wrong tool. This is the part when my single biggest complaint about this program is the way like you can click on something and then it like unclicks 15 things that you had grabbed. And I want offset face. down. Here, okay. This guy is going to disappear. Do a draft. All right, so we never want to have a lip like that, and but what we'll do is we'll grab that face and just pull it over. So when they merge, there won't be any kind of a lip. Okay, and I think I'm in an okay place to combine all that. And then this edge, hopefully I can do this. Yep. Kind of all there is going on there. And this whole thing is kind of sitting on a plate. Let's see if we can get that shape from the top view. Yeah, kind of right there. So let's bring the sidecar in because I want to make sure it fits. Hey, Darth Gar, thank you. Not sure if you stuck around or not, but I appreciate it. I think they're aside from the deco, I think they're exactly the same as the Valiverse weapons. Same type of plastic. Yeah, same knucklehead designing them, I guess. And we are talking about a rectangle. About there. Okay. I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. Just pretty happy with that. And it's, in fact, pretty close to where it needs to be. Let's turn it into a physical object. Okay. Is that? Let me see what it looks like on the thing. And I'm kind of running up on time here real soon. Yeah, that's pretty close. Bring that down just a pinch. And I'll merge those. I'm going to pull this out. There's a little shelf that comes down, so we're going to take care of that first. On the toy, it's wider than it is in the blueprint. We'll go up there. Split face. Well, that's not right though. So this is one of those spots where just like the toy and the blueprints do not agree on where something is. Not a big deal. So weird. So weird. I may so on the toy, the gun effectively has these two pegs that kind of rest in there, and then these four bits kind of, sort of, kind of rest against it, but you can see there's a lot of play, and there's that gap, and I feel like it should just follow the damn. Mine is going to follow the edge. What the hell? Oh my god, this thing just like, it just does not want to stay together. I'm going to have those arms like follow this edge. I think that's the right way to do it. Yeah, so I wanted to, we'll do a merge and we'll clean all that up in just a second. Let me get that out of there. Miss anything? This crap up top. Okay. Make a box, do a cut. That way I'm just dealing with a single face on the bottom of this thing. One face. Yeah, this right there. I just gotta. Oh, then I can have it plug in two places. It'll be a little more solid. I think. I mean, it being bigger and being glued is gonna prevent it from just falling apart like this one does. Like that's definitely part of like what I'm trying to accomplish is just to make something that's significantly more durable and kind of secure. This is such a weird gun. I have no idea what this is supposed to be. Oh, blueprints. Do the blueprints? I'm gonna look at the blueprints real quick. Like the full blueprints, not the, what do they call it? 10-round mortar launcher. Mortar that you shoot straight ahead. I mean, you would shoot like a grenade launcher like that, like a 203 or a Mark 19. Why would you even call that a? Oh, okay. It's a mortar. It's a mortar launcher. Oh, so you're talking about the magazines? Yeah. So like that's why I that's why my set specifically didn't have removable magazines, because there's no perfect way to do it at that scale. I like the way Valaverse does it in that, like, because he's got places for magazines to go, and the magazines become part of the accessories, and it's got a look, right, having a big tactical vest with a bunch of mags sticking out of it. That's pretty cool looking. And I don't know of other toys that do it quite as well as Valaverse. I think he really nailed that. if you look at the Joe magazines on the classified stuff, rather than make the magazine well too big or the magazine too small, they've made the portion of the magazine that fits in the weapon smaller. So the magazine ultimately doesn't look right. But they also don't have, I'm trying to make sure I'm saying this right. I don't think they have a single figure where the magazine can plug in someplace. So like if you remove a mag from one of the classified guns, it's got no place to go because it may be in the figure's hand if you're posing him loading it, right? Huh. But yeah, like I'm not selling vests. Like if I had magazines with my weapons, where would they go? You know, I'd rather everything just look right. And it's just personal preference. Some people like having that added play feature. I'd rather have accuracy. P90. The calico. No, I would totally do the calico. I would totally do the calico. I love the weird the 80s guns, you know. Calico is cool. The only movie I can think of where it showed up was like the Crow, like the Crow movie. There was one of the bad guys had it. Uh I'm sure it shows up in some other stuff. There's got to be some sci-fi movies where it shows up. And the P90, the only concern I have with the P90 is hands gripping it because of the way the grip is set up. And there, I want to say there was a I don't know if it was a Pursuit of Cobra or 30th anniversary. There was a there was a figure that came with one, and I'm trying to think, it was a new it was a new character. It was supposed to be like a stealth, like a Cobra stealth unit. I can't think of the name. And it came with a P90, but I've never seen that figure holding that weapon. Um, there's a way to do it. I don't think if you did the P90 and kept the silhouette perfect, and this is another issue with it, is all these guns with the 112 scale, because of the hands on the action figures are like comic book hands in that they're larger than they should be. And that's like in comic books, you draw characters with larger hands because it makes them look more powerful. And I think that just kind of played across into the action figure world. So you've got these bigger hands. So if you get a perfect copy of a real gun, the grip ends up being too small. So you have to make the grip bigger. And on like an AK or an M4 or something like that, you can get away with it without really altering the overall silhouette too badly. But on the P90, like where the kind of where the grips and everything are is just integrated into the gun, it would require some very delicate alterations to make it holdable by an action figure without distorting how the gun looks too much. It's doable. I haven't done it yet, but it's definitely it would be a more challenging thing to do just right. But I would totally do the P90. Just plugging along. I've only got a couple minutes left, and I'm gonna have to skedaddle. It would have been nice to finish the sidecar this morning, but I'm afraid that's just not in the books. In the cards, gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. I really want to get this thing test printed. I'm heading to Florida. Kind of weird. I'm heading to Florida. It's in a couple days, end of the week, for a toy show, and I have a table set up. And I'm really hoping I can get this thing test printed before then. bring this out a little. Really gonna be a punk about this? Really? Huh? Maybe we can do a press pull. This is weird because it's got like 2 levels, if you will. Let me offset this. Okay. Extrude. Body. Okay. And I think we've got like little bolts or something. Yeah, little bolts. Oh yeah, like obscure '80s weapons is that's where my heart's at, man. Like I grew up. I was having this conversation the other day. I grew up watching these like '80s action movies, and like that's kind of what I want to make. Where's these? Like I really want to do the what's it called? Sorry. I can't believe I can't think of the name of this fucking gun. The little submachine gun Stallone had in Cobra. Why would this work? There's no way this shouldn't work. I didn't merge it over there, right? 2 different things. 2 different things. Ends of the selected edges. Doesn't make a lot of sense. It should be. Oh, that's why. Because I rounded that before I did the other thing. So. I didn't say shit about doing a sketchy son of a bitch. All right. So I can find where I did that. I can delete it from my timeline. Now it's all merged one piece. I could do all of it now. Jetty-Matic. It popped in my head. It's the Jetty-Matic was a not good submachine gun, and Stallone had like a really modified one in the movie Cobra. You probably put it in chat. You didn't. Cool. I actually got to the answer myself without looking it up. Hooray! Move that. I'm gonna get these little bolts on there, and then I'm gonna have to go. They're just little nubs on the original. Because I've got scale, I can get it, and I'm not making a 2-part mold. I'm 3D printing, so I will do actual bolt heads, little hexes. It looks like there's a bunch. 7. I swear to God, this. Mirror. Nope, not yet. Create a path. I don't know what the fuck that was. It's got to be a loop, and I just can't see it because of the angle. So just create our own path here. It's the little details like this that make things kind of pop and look interesting, you know, and are making them appealing to the eye. Believe it or not, your brain has been looking at things in the real world your whole life. And so when something doesn't look like it belongs in the real world, your brain knows it. We are going to go to render. I'm going to just throw some color on here. I just want to take a peek at where things are. Let's make a new group called Sidecar. All this stuff can go into the Sidecar group. There we go. I was hoping I could. I haven't really ever. I don't usually mess with folders like this. But we're gonna move all this just for the sake of seeing how this looks. And interestingly, I think the blueprints never actually show the sidecar attached to the bike. Yeah, they don't. It's something I can measure out later. I have it here, but I was hoping to just kind of line it up where it needed to be out of the gate, and I'll be able to undo that move and put this back because I still need that on the origin. But I thought it'd be cool to kind of look at this. We can do a render and post a pic. Like that, and then set up. Where's position? There it is. I found that kind of backlighting this particular model kind of makes it look a little better. Yeah, okay. I'm just doing a cheesy little render. Can you even see this on the? Yeah, okay. Cool. All right, guys. Hey, thanks for checking it out. Progress was made, but all these things take time. Like I'm pretty quick with the guns at this point. I can knock out guns in 5-6 hours. But something like this with lots of pieces that have to kind of go together, and then I try to just mentally account for the fact that I'm, you know, more than it's not just me 3D printing it. I'm hoping to give like people are going to get this file and try to make it. And I want to make sure it's easy for everybody. So it just takes time. And then like the Thunder Machine is such a monster. It just takes time, but it's going to be fantastic. So, but thanks again for checking out, and I'll see you guys next time.